TreeFolks was created in 1989 by volunteers who developed the City Shade program. City Shade was formed as a partnership with the City of Austin to provide opportunities for public participation in tree planting events. TreeFolks provided resources that the City of Austin couldn't provide, like volunteer coordination and corporate sponsorship, and we became education liaisons to the community. The City Shade program continues to grow, offering volunteer opportunities, direct tree care, and education to the Central Texas community. Over the past 20 years, we've grown to accommodate 4 programs that offer free trees. We also provide volunteer opportunities and education regarding the biology and benefits of trees, and information about how to plant and care for them. TreeFolks helps to plant or distribute more than 10,000 trees annually in Central Texas and reaches at least 9,000 members of the community each year. In January of 2011, TreeFolks experienced an executive director transition that's had a positive impact on the organization. Our programs were evaluated and restructured to focus on the needs of the community and the organizational capacity. This change has prompted TreeFolks to micro-focus on growing successful programs that will have the greatest community impact. TreeFolks would like to connect corporations and foundations with specific community projects and strengthen our relationship with potential sponsors. These partnerships will increase the educational outreach of our programs and allow participants to feel empowered through urban forestry projects in their community. Within the next several years, TreeFolks envisions a city that's more knowledgeable about native trees and the benefits they produce to create a healthy ecosystem. We will continue to create innovative urban forestry education and planting programs while strengthening partnerships in the community. TreeFolks consistently evaluates programs with partners, adapting to meet the changing environmental and community needs to achieve success. Meetings are scheduled with partners, committee members, and staff to evaluate performance measures and envision program growth. For example, the Neighborhoods program historically received a 30% response rate from eligible homeowners. The low response rate was attributed to lack of knowledge about the program, the benefits of street trees, and language barriers. To improve the response rate, TreeFolks increased outreach to the neighborhood about the program and its benefits, created an online order form, offered additional information on the website, and made all their program materials available in Spanish. Now, eligible participants have a better understanding of the benefits of urban trees and better access to enrollment, and we've seen participation rise by 10%. We plan to provide additional workshops and outreach in the future to targeted neighborhoods to increase the response rate even further. TreeFolks is effective because of our successful partnerships within the community. We understand that initiatives are most effective when partnerships are formed to maximize resources. TreeFolks has a strong relationship with the City of Austin Forestry, Planning, and Watershed departments, as well as schools, neighborhood groups, and other environmental nonprofit organizations. We share educational materials, expertise, and other valuable resources. TreeFolks also has a program committee to assist our staff in accomplishing annual goals. The program committee consists of TreeFolks volunteers, municipal staff, and arborists who help with planning TreeFolks events, evaluating effectiveness, and recommending change. They serve as event site coordinators, trained planting supervisors, and are ambassadors of TreeFolks, representing our mission at outreach events all over Central Texas. Each program has specific performance measures to ensure we meet our mission. For instance, we record the number of trees delivered, households reached, participant responses, and perform a 6-month survival study to see if the trees were properly planted and watered through the Neighborhoods program. We also have survey cards to record public feedback. Our staff reviews them and then recommends improvements tracking the impact of changes each year. Our staff and board are actively involved in civil service. They serve on the City of Austin's Urban Forestry Board, Environmental Board, and regularly attend conferences and trainings to stay up to date on current urban forestry and nonprofit news and initiatives. While we are arborists and foresters, we don't perform tree removal and pruning work. We refer inquiries for work to a list of certified arborists in the area that are well trained for proper maintenance and removal techniques, safety measures, and strategies to avoid the spread of oak wilt. TreeFolks encountered an unfortunate chain of events that caused an interruption in our organizational operations. A valued long-term employee suddenly passed away, data from a computer crash was lost, and 2 skilled employees left the organization. Because of this, we lost a great amount of knowledge, data, and history, posing a major challenge for future employees. Through meeting with partners and long-term volunteers, we began to piece together the history and chronology of TreeFolks' legacy in our community. A historian has volunteered to help archive our existing raw data to preserve the history of 20 years of tree planting events in the community. During the 2011 drought, the community and partnering organizations expressed concern for the growing number of dying trees as well as the overall health of the urban forests. In response, TreeFolks began broadening the scope of city shade to provide ongoing maintenance for trees. This requires training neighborhood and adopt-a-part groups to care for their trees. We track their increased knowledge as well as the health and growth of tree canopies. Over the past few years, TreeFolks has delivered over 18,000 trees to 9,800 homeowners through the Neighborwoods program. About 30,000 community members were involved in the tree planting and care of Neighborwoods trees, with over 90,000 volunteer hours recorded. That's enough trees to shade both sides of the street for over 50 miles. We partnered with the Texas Forest Service and the Galveston Island Tree Conservancy to give away thousands of trees to Galveston residents affected by Hurricane Ike. In the 2011-2012 planting season, TreeFolks gave away 1,860 native trees to victims of the 2011 wildfires that swept through Bastrop and outlying areas in Travis County. The wildfire restoration project will continue for several years to ensure the burned trees are replaced with native trees and people can once again enjoy shade in their communities. TreeFolks plans ongoing involvement with recovery efforts as severe weather affects Texas communities in the future. Record high temperatures and drought swept through central Texas in 2011, killing approximately 5.6 million shade trees. Concern from municipal partners and the community arose just before the planting season began regarding planting trees in the face of drought conditions. TreeFolks explained to partners and the public that the long-term stormwater and water quality benefits of our neighborhood street trees outweigh the small amount of water needed for root establishment. We also explained that tree planting must continue in order to replace the large number of trees that were lost. We worked with the City of Austin to adjust the City Shade program, shifting away from large container trees that require irrigation to planting saplings that require only rainfall. We released public outreach materials regarding the importance of planting trees despite drought and efficient watering tips. This educated the community and eased concerns, allowing TreeFolks to accomplish tree planting and education goals. Additional resources would allow TreeFolks to expand the City Shade program partnerships between TreeFolks, government organizations, and the public. These partnerships help to protect and increase the urban forest. The project engages neighborhood groups to care for the urban forest through hands-on tree planting and maintenance activities. We'd like to use a successful framework of City Shade to support reforestation in neighboring communities, including Bastrop and Spicewood, that were affected by wildfires. Additional resources would also allow TreeFolks to revive the Community Trees and Urban Orchard projects. These 2 programs were formed in the mid-90s to plant shade, fruit, and nut trees in public spaces. But a lack of funding caused both of these programs to be discontinued in 2011. The majority of our programs serve adults. However, we'd like to directly educate young people. We're interested in reviving our Community Trees and Urban Orchard project to provide shade and fruit and nut trees to schools, but we don't have the capacity to fulfill this need. The Great Texas Tree Roundup teaches adults and children tree identification and the benefits of urban trees. However, we don't have a program that's specifically geared towards educating young people. TreeFolks would like to create an approved curriculum that could be used by teachers to fulfill their tree biology requirements, or could be taught by the TreeFolks mascot, Barkley, an 8-foot walking, talking, teaching tree. TreeFolks staff includes arborists, foresters, and educators. We don't currently have development expertise on our staff. Many individuals, businesses, local governments, and foundations are interested in supporting our work. However, we aren't able to maximize this opportunity. It's important that we fill this gap in order to develop a more sustainable funding model.